Alright guys, let me get down here. I did some earlier videos on servicing your Honda EU2200, and mine is running a little bit rough, and I want to show you. I just took this screw out, take this top off. I'm going to show you how to service this carb, and I'm taking these two little nuts out here, and those are 8mm, by the way. And so I've loosened them, and I figure while I'm here, it's kind of running kind of rough. I've had to service this carb a couple times. Unfortunately, on the E2200 here, what happens is that even though you may think that you're emptying the carb, it actually holds a residue of gas. There's just no way to totally drain that out, even though you may let it run and run out. There's still some residual left in there, and so that has a tendency to cause issues at some point with your carb. So what I've done is I've taken this breather cover off now to checking it. You can see it looks really super clean. Taking the two 8mm off. Now I've got to take this little center one off here under that breather cover. There's another little 8, and I'm hoping that my camera's capturing this. I have a one-man operation to help you here. So let me get this off. And we want to get back here, and I've serviced this carb a couple times. It's not actually awfully difficult. I've actually serviced it on the road to put it to use. So figure this time let me try to capture it for you. And I think the last video I did an oil change for you. But while I'm here, got a few minutes here, and we'll try to get this off and get that carb serviced here. So let's take that breather cover off, and you can see your little carb here now sitting here with your connections and so forth, and you see the carb ready to roll off. And so I'm going to take it off, and I'm going to clean it up some, and put it back. So stand by, and I'll come back and stitch some with you. Alright, we're back now. Like all these little carbs here, I've taken this little 10mm out of the top end here. That's so I can get into that float bowl, and I can look at that and look at the needle. So hold on a second, let me get ready to look at that. Say these little carbs continue to hold fuel, and that's part of the problem. See, so I'm going to clean this residue out, and while I got this carb flipped over, I'm going to pull the little pin here and take the float out. Now I'm looking at that pin, and I'm going to look down in there because quite often that's where it plugs up. So let's take a look inside, and you can see some residue in there, so I'll clean that out. And then I've taken the pin, that needle that sits in there out. I'm going to turn this over. I'll blow this out, clean that residue up, stab it back together, and it'll run like a charm. But you can see where it's built up some residue from sitting in there. And that's all it is to cleaning these little carbs up. Now I'll go ahead while I'm here too and take the needle out. You can see I'll take a screwdriver, flat screwdriver, and I'll take that out and clean that up and make sure all the orifices are open. And then I'll just put it back together, so stay tuned. Okay, now hopefully you're picking this up, but I just got me a little screwdriver. Take this needle out here. Yeah. and see if I can blow it out, this orifice too, and clean it up good. So, all right, so there she is. And I'll blow this out, clean this all up good too, before I put that back in. See. All right, and this is just a little cap cover that snaps on there. So, and like I say, I'm cleaning out the residual that's gotten down here and rested and set. So, all right, so I'm just going to clean these up. I'm going to get me some little brushes, and I'm going to go through the orifices and make sure they're open. And then I'm going to put this back together. So stay tuned. Alright, I'm just going to use some air just to blow out the orifices. That's all I'm interested in doing at this point. Just blow it out. So let me let it build some pressure. I'm just going to blow this all out. Then I'm going to reassemble this. Let's let it build up a little pressure here. I've cleaned out all these orifices already. I don't need a lot. I'm just going to do a little bit of air. Put this back together. We'll drop this in. And don't over tighten these. Just seat it. I mean, I'm literally field sort of servicing this, so you got that rubber gasket, don't forget it. You know, and reset your float, check your needle. Make sure it's clean. We're going to reseat it. And I'm going to put my pin back in. Now, I don't suspect it costs much anymore. But maybe with inflation, you never know. But I'd say it probably doesn't cost much if you wanted to just totally replace your car, but these usually are fine if they're serviced. Now remember, this has a washer on the end, and that's to keep from having a fuel leak. So, this is a 10 millimeter, by the way. So tighten it back. All right. Like I said, that little plastic piece here is just a cap cover I'll put back on in a minute. All right, now this is my gaskets. I'm reusing them. I got to be real easy with them. I don't want to damage them. I'm going to push my little car back on here. And it's got a gasket back here also. This gasket also sits on here. So let's put that back in place. And essentially all that holds this on is that breather cover, as you can see. But so I'll put it back in place there. And I'm ready to sort of thread my hardware back in place. Now I'm going to take this bottom little 8 and it gets fed back in here. Bolt it back in. Line it up. Let me go down so I can see a little better. Get down here. Line that up. Maybe. There we go. Yeah, it pushes up a little more. I'll just get it started here. I'm going to change this. Well, I'll tell you what, I almost forgot. I won't be able to access it, so let me, before I tighten this down and finish this out, we better put that snap cover back on here. The Honda gives you, or we're not going to be able to reach in there and get it because it does set across there. And it's got little snap points in it, so you'll know where they go. Let me seat it, get back in. All right. Okay, so we need to open it. Let's go around and see where we need this. Here, the seat back down in here. Let me just pull this off so I can see it and line and see where I need to line it up. Here's just a little cover. It'll snap into place. And you'll be able to tell because it has a cutout there that has to cover that wire. So it's just finagling it around a little bit and getting it to snap back down in there. All right, so now it's snapped into place. Okay. So now let's get back up here and put our car back on the post. And now you can see that cover. I figure if I didn't do that now, I'd have a difficult time reaching in there trying to get it, so might as well go ahead and get it in there now. So now let's go back to where we were. Oh, and let me put this back on. Let's clamp that back. Make sure it holds securely. All right, now I'm going to get back again in this position so I can see. Line this up now. We should be able to get this started hopefully here. Well, we better put that in, but I always forget something if you're not careful. So. Alright, so let's get this lined up so we can get it started here. Cover on now. Then we're going to put these top screws in and we're going to fire this thing up and be ready to go, guys. So stand by here. Let me get these pushed on. These do have little washers behind them, so watch for your washers. And we're going to, again, just tighten it down so that that gasket has a seal. We don't have an air leak, so. You just kind of snug them up. And put our oil breather covers and all back on. And folks, I'm going to start her up, so stand by here.